Hey my freaks and geeks, it's Messin, and today's going to be something a little different. Today I'm telling you guys about my first and thankfully only cosplay horror story. So, my cosplay horror story starts off when I was going into grade 12, so summer of 2017. I was very into My Little Pony. You guys may have seen some of the merch in my background. This was probably where I was dipping out. I had just got off a peak obsession. But, so this was my last year going to oh my god. My last year going to BronyCon. So BronyCon, I would meet up with one of my old online best friend, and we would hang out for those 3 days, and then we would say goodbye. So this was my last year. She couldn't make it out. She didn't tell me, so I had already had the tickets and everything planned. So I went with my friend Lauren. I had dressed up as a character called Trixie. I feel like, not as recognizable. I mean, if you had seen my face before, you probably may be able to recognize it. I don't know, because I stare at my face all the time, so I feel like I'm pretty recognizable in that. But anyways, so it was Saturday, the busiest day, of course, of the con, and I was going around doing my thing in Artist Alley, looking at all the stuff, and this guy, probably late 20s, like early 30s, asked me for a picture, and I was like, yeah, sure, of course. And my friend Lauren noticed after the picture, he was prolonging the conversation, because usually you go like, hey, can I get a picture? Thanks, oh, you look so cool, thanks for the picture, and then you leave. But he was kind of having a whole conversation with me. My friend Lauren had dressed up in the cosplay I wore the previous day because of the fact she didn't want to walk around with me without anything on. So she was apparently dressed up as his favorite character, and I was dressed up as his friend's favorite character, and I was happy to talk to him because, not gonna lie, I don't really have a creepdar. I have a very broken creepdar. It's usually not till it gets to the point where I should have already run that it goes off. So my friend Lauren was already getting bad vibes off of him. It seemed like he was holding like beer in his hand, which I don't know. I don't really know beer well, but beer wasn't allowed since it was an all-age convention type of deal, so they didn't sell alcohol there or anything. So we said our goodbyes, went on our way, and then later that day there was this free cosplay photo shoot. So they had like a little backdrop. You could get your pictures taken with like professional camera and everything, and I'm like, oh yay. So I went to go do that, and we bumped into them again. This time he was with a group of friends. I would say there was around 5 of them, 6 of them in total. And so we Lauren started talking to some of them, and I started talking to him and his like little friends. But Lauren gradually made her way into the conversation. Lauren made sure, because of course she was getting creepy vibes off of him, and I wasn't. I'm very friendly, kind of naive, talking my little heart away, and she managed to slip in quite a few times, and I kind of reinforced it, that we were 17. We were not from around here. We were clearly underage. Stop, was kind of what Lauren was trying to do, because like I said, she was getting creepy vibes off of him. But he told us that there was a Grand Galloping Gala happened. So for context in the show, it's this really stuffy ball, and then the main characters go, make it like this great party kind of deal. But, so the first time I went to it, it was a really stuffy ball. They had like a waltz competition. There was like 5 people there. It was the most boring thing ever. And I was like, oh, I don't think we are. Like last time I went, it kind of sucked. And he was like, oh, like they're redoing the whole thing. They're listening to all the feedback and everything. You guys should totally come. And I was like, okay, yeah, we'll see what we can do. And later on, me and Lauren went to the hotel room, and Lauren kind of decided that maybe she was judging them too much. She was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. So we decided we would go. You're supposed to dress up formally. No one really did, but they said because it's supposed to represent like a stuffy ball, you're supposed to dress up really nice. And so I didn't have any dresses on me at all. I had worn pants. I hadn't planned for this, so I didn't have anything nice to wear. So I wore my cosplay there. I wore the hat. I just did everything, the wig, all that. I just didn't bring my staff with me. So me and Lauren get there. Lauren's out of cosplay. So we're like dancing our little hearts out, having a good time. It was kind of like a high school dance, is the way I would describe it. Some music, you could dance, you could talk to people. They had some skits on stage. but you couldn't really hear it over the music. But we're having a good time. I would say it was really fun. And then he eventually comes and finds us. And he asked me if I had ever waltzed before. And I was like, no, I never have. He's like, would you like to try? And I am a people pleaser. I try my best. I put people before me usually. Like I said, I'm kind of naive. I'm very trusting. So I was like, sure, let's try. So there's pop music playing. I think this is gonna last like only a couple minutes. Not even kidding you, after the first song ends, they play like the Shrek music when like Fiona's singing, like the like that fucking music. That's what they play. They play that. And I'm just there like, why? And so a bunch of people start waltzing around us, and he's like teaching me, and I'm just kind of there like kind of awkwardly little 17-year-old me being like, yay, like waltzing, you know, that sort of deal. And so he starts leading us into the middle of the room. This is what Lauren observed. I didn't really notice because, you know, I was kind of talking to him and everything. But Lauren, apparently one of his friends tried to ask her if she wanted to dance, and she was like, I'm not a very touchy person. That's a lie. Lauren loves hugs and stuff, like not from strangers, but like from her friends. Like, so she's watching from like the left side of the room, and that's where we started off, left side of the room. And apparently from Lauren's view, we're gradually getting closer and closer into the middle, into the crowd sort of thing. So straight up from Lauren's perspective, he's trying to waltz me away. He's trying to separate me from my friend Lauren, trying to get us lost in the crowd, that sort of deal. So Lauren's kind of sitting there like, should I interrupt? Should I cut in? Should I tell him that's my girlfriend? Like, hands off? Like, what should I do? Like, she's just standing there staring at me, being like, ah! And so I'm still waltzing and everything, and then like he's slowly kind of, my like creepdar is kind of going off in the back of my head. Like at first it was fine, but I'm like, this is going on for like really long. Like what's happening? And then he asked me if I've ever tried swing dancing, and I'm like, what's swing dancing? And he goes, oh, it's like more so of a provocative dance. I could teach you sometime. And I'm like he was telling me how it's like movements of the hips and stuff, and I'm like I said, I'm 17-year-old. I've told him this. He is in like late 20s, early 30s. I'm just there like, ah. And that's when my creepdar started going, bing, 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 like at the back of my head, being like, this is not okay. This is kind of uncomfortable. Stop, like that sort of deal. And I'm just like, okay. So we keep waltzing. We're in like the middle of the room at this point. And I'm like looking down at my feet. I'm like very shy. I'm nervous I'll stomp on his feet. I'm kind of getting like bad vibes from him. And then he's like, oh, don't look up, don't worry. I won't bite your head off. I'll just nip at it. And I'm like, bing, 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 bing. No. Time to leave. Time to exit. Arrête, s'il vous plaît. We need to find a way to get out of this situation. Like, just suddenly sirens are going off in my head, and I'm like freaking out because he said it in a clearly flirty tone. And I'm just there like, ah! Like I'm internally screaming. I'm in the middle of the room far away from my friends. I don't know this dude. He's clearly flirting with me. I am underage. I'm just like, this is not okay. This is not okay. This is not okay. And so at that point, I was searching for an exit. I was searching for a way out. Clearly wasn't okay. I was like, nope. So I bought like $15 heels that were chewing my feet up. And I look down to my right foot, and there's bandages on it already, and some are falling off. So I look down, and I'm like, that's my escape. So I like look up, and I'm like, hey, is it okay if I just go for a bit? I need, some of my bandages are falling off, and I need to put them back on and replace them. He's like, yeah, sure, that's fine. So he lets go of me, and I like quickly walk over to my friend Lauren. I look at her, and I'm like, we're leaving. She goes, we're leaving. And so I pick my bag up. We had to go to like the door where he could kind of see us, and I'm like, no. We need to go to a different exit. I do not want him following us. And so we go out kind of like a back exit, and like we're heading to our hotel room, and I'm like very shaken at this point. My friend's like being very protective of me, and I told her what was happening. And like afterwards I got home, like my mom was so thankful that Lauren was there, because if she wasn't, like I don't know what I would have done. Honestly, I probably would have like gone and cried or something. Like I was so scared at that point, and the rest of the con, like, because this was on Saturday, and I left kind of early Sunday because of the fact that this was in the United States, and we had to drive back to Canada. So the rest of the con day, I was paranoid as all hell. I sadly didn't report him because I didn't really know that was a thing you were supposed to do. That was like my first experience ever. I didn't know his name. I didn't know his badge name. All I know is what he looked like. So I was mortified the next day. I was scared he was gonna find us. He was gonna try and talk to us, ask me what happened, where I went, because I was honestly so thankful I went in my cosplay because I was hoping he wouldn't be able to recognize me out, like, without the makeup on, the hair, the eyes, like, everything. So I was so thankful that I was in cosplay. It felt kind of like a barrier. But the one thing that made me paranoid is because Lauren wasn't in cosplay. I was like, what if he recognizes Lauren and puts like 2 to 2 together and realizes I'm the girl who ran away on him. And I was so scared. The next day, I was constantly watching my back, looking out for him. Like, it was terrible. It was the worst. Not gonna lie. I hope to never repeat that. Apparently I've been told it's very obvious that I'm the type of kind of naive, like, innocent, trusting girl. Like, I give off that energy. I like hunch. I usually put my head down, that sort of thing. So I'm trying to work on that. So that will never happen again. But yeah, that was my first cosplay horror story. And it was horrifying. I hope this taught you something. Don't trust creepy men and dance with them. Rule number 1. I don't know why I agreed to that. Just don't. It's good to have friends with you when you're cosplaying. And yeah, I hope you guys got something out of this. You enjoyed it. I don't know. Maybe I made you laugh. My suffering was funny, scary. I don't know. But yeah, that's it. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.